Oh, hello, it's Grandma Richards here. So for our on your own, we're going to do a couple problems and we're going to be comparing all of these rational numbers. So we're going to have fractions and decimals that we are comparing, and there's a couple strategies we can use to do that we will be looking at as we go, and you can pick the one that you like best. So number 3 says that a musician uses water glasses to play music. The glasses contain, we've got one with half of a cup, 4/6 of a cup, a third of a cup, and 4/5 of a cup of water. To play the glasses, the musician lines them up from least amount of water to greatest amount of water. Write the amounts of water in order from least to greatest. So one thing I can do is I can turn them all into decimals. It's very easy to compare decimals. I also notice I've already got one, so I've got a half as a decimal, 0.5. So I need to turn 4/6 into a decimal, 1/3 into a decimal, and 4/5. Now there's a couple of these that I actually know right off the bat. So I know a third. If I take 100, decimals go into this group of 100. So if I take 100 and I break it up into 3 groups, 100 divided by 3 is about 33. It's going to go on forever. 0.333333333. And I have one of those groups. When I have a third, that decimal is actually 0.33 every single time. Kind of like when we have a half of something, it always equals 0.5. Half of 100 is 50. A third of 100 is 33. And it's going to go on forever, but we can call it 33. Now, when I'm cutting 100 into 5 pieces, each of them represents 20. So 100 divided by 5 is 20. So really what I'm thinking here is how many times does this go into 100? So I have to get from 5 to 100, I times by 20. So if I times this by 20, what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top is 80. 80 hundredths is 0.8 or 0.80. This is 0.5 or 0.50. So there's lots of ways to, I just know that one. I know every time I see fifths, I just count by 20s, 20, 40, 60, 80. I needed 4 of them. Each of group is 20. If I want to go here, there's a lot of ways we could do this. I could simplify it. I could see how it goes into 100. Another way to get a decimal is just divide. This line literally means divide. 4 divided by 6. And I know it's going to be a decimal number, so I'm just going to put my decimals there. Can't go into 4, but it goes into 40 6 times, which is 36. And there's 4 left over, and it's going to keep going in there, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Because if I simplify this, I can divide both of these by 2, I get 2/3. We know 1/3 is 33, so 2 of those doubled is 66. Now I can easily look and see which of these is the smallest. 33 cents is first, so 1/3. 1/3. Then we can see next is 0.5, then 2/3 or 4/6, then 4/5. So changing them into decimals is my favorite way. I love decimals. Sometimes fractions, I just really have to think about them, and I don't want to think that hard. If I just divide and turn it into a decimal, boom, I know what it is. So that's my favorite way. We could make common factors, and we could think about them that way. So we know we've got a half, we have 4/6, 1/3, and we have 4/5 here. So I could come up and I can start comparing these. So I'm thinking of a number, so I'm going to count by 6s and see what these can go into. So they can't all go into 6. 12, no. So it's got to end in 5 or 0 for this 5. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. 5 goes into 30. 3 goes into 30, 6 goes into 30, and 2 goes into 30. So I can make their common factor of 30 to compare all of these. So when they're the same, they're very easy to compare, kind of like when they were all decimals. They all went to the hundredths place, right? They were the same, so I want these to be the same. To get from 2 to 30, I times by 15. So 1 times 15 is 15. What I do to one, I have to do to the other. Times by 5, 4 times 5 is 20. To get from 3 to 30, I'm timesing by 10. 1 times 10 is 10. To get from 5 to 30, I times by 6. 4 times 6 is, what am I? Lost my mind there. 24. Okay, being a grandma's really catching up to me. Now I can see they all have 30 pieces. I can see this one I only have 10 pieces. Then I have 15 pieces. Then I have 20 pieces. Then 24. But we want to put them back into their original form. Well, this one was actually 0.5 here. You want to give your answer back how it gave them to you to start. And then one other thing I can do is I can just kind of sit and reason about these. So I know I have a half. And I can start thinking, okay, well, 4/6. Well, I know 4 is more, half of 6 is 3. So I know that 4/6 is going to be bigger. Now I have a third. Half of 3 is 1.5. So this is smaller than a half. So now I just have to figure out where this one goes. I have 4 out of 5. This one also has 4. I know it's more than a half. Half of 5 is 2.5. So it's got to be on this side. So I've got to decide, does it go here or here? So I'm comparing 4/5 and 4/6. So when my numerator is the same, they both have 4 pieces. But so when I have my numerator the same, I want my denominator to be smaller to give me bigger pieces. If I have 4 pieces out of 6, and the same 4 pieces out of 5. 3. So here's 6, right? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And then this one's cut into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. I can see, right? This one just has a little bit more than this one here. So those pieces are bigger because I don't have as many of them. So 4/5 is a little bit bigger than 4/6. This is only missing 1 piece. This is missing 2 pieces. So either way, any way I do it, I'm getting the same answer. So this one I'm really having to like think, and is this right? Like, I don't really have proof here. Not my favorite way. It works for some of them. It worked for this. It works for lots of them. I don't really feel like it's solid. Like, yeah, I know that. Common factors, awesome. Sometimes you're just going to get really big factors though. If you're trying to find a common factor of a lot of numbers, it might have to be something really big. Decimals, super easy. My favorite, I can always easily see. I can, so lots of them I know. I know my benchmark fractions, like a half. I know things like my fourths and my fifths and my thirds. So lots of them are just ones that you can know and memorize. And if I don't know it, all I have to do, like if I have 5 out of 8, I don't know that off the top of my head, all I do is 5 divided by 8. It's a pretty easy problem. Goes in there. I just said it was easy, and then I couldn't figure out how many times 8 went into 50. 8 goes into 50 6 times. There we go, which is 48. And that's 2 left over and goes in there 2 times. And it's going to go, I think, one more time actually, is 16, 40. 8 goes into that 5 times. 0.625. But usually once I have 2 decimal places, I can really easily see which one is bigger and which one is smaller. So lots of ways, but you've got to choose one of them and be able to prove and think about it. So if you do one of decimals or factor ways, I got you. I can see your work. You showed me what you did. If you're choosing to do it this way, you can probably count on me asking you some questions about how you knew that. Or you could just write it out and avoid my questions. So that is number 3 there.